Hey guys, welcome to Lockdown with Lon, day 56. It is Thursday, May 21st, and we are going to continue in 1 Kings 17, but today I'm going to go back to verse 19 again. And so yesterday we talked about that when the widow said, when Elijah told the widow to give him the son. And so I'm going to pick up and I'll read that verse 19 again. And he says, and he said to her, "Give me your son." And he took him from her arms and carried him up into the upper chamber where he lodged. And he laid him on his own bed. So here's Elijah. The widow's come to him. She's angry because she feels like it's Elijah's fault that her son has died and that he's kind of drawn God's attention to her sin, and now she's being punished. And so Elijah says, he doesn't even argue with him. He doesn't refute. He doesn't defend himself. He just says, "Give me your son." And so, and then he takes him from her. So I want to kind of just focus on that for a minute. That he takes her from his arm. It says he took him from her arms and carried him up into the upper chamber. And I thought that's really it's really kind of a cool picture of how God will take our burdens from us, and He will he'll carry them away. He'll carry them off. In Exodus chapter 19, I want to read that to you. Verse 4. It says, "You yourselves have seen what I did to the Egyptians and how I bore you up on eagle's wings and brought you to myself." And there's this thing about us bringing our burdens to God in a really genuine way and allowing Him to take those things off of us onto Him. There's this picture of the widow. She's got it doesn't get any worse than this. They say there's nothing worse than the death of your child. And so she comes to the man of God, and the man of God, his response isn't, "Well, this is why you're wrong," or "This is why you're bad," or "Yeah, actually, this is punishment for your sin because you're a sinful person." He didn't point out her faults. He didn't defend himself. He didn't fight against her. He just said, "Give me your son." And he took him up in his arms and he carried him off. And I really believe that God wants us to become excellent at giving our burdens to Him. Jesus told us, He said that, He says, "Take my yoke and learn of me." He says, "My yoke is easy and my burden is light." That's in Matthew chapter 11, verse 30. Jesus wants us to engage in an exchange with Him, where we exchange our burdens, we exchange our problems, we exchange our difficulties, and we pick up His yoke that's easy and light. And I don't know about you, but man, I don't want to have to carry my own issues, my own problems. Man, I know that when I need help, I need to go to God. I know that when things aren't going the way that I want them to go, I need to go to God. I know that when I'm locked in for close to 2 months and I've had just about enough, I need to go to God. And I need to lay my burdens on Him. I need to allow Him to take those things. And in exchange, I'll take His yoke, because His yoke is easy and His burden is light. I'm called to take His yoke, which is trust God. I'm called to take His yoke, which is obey Him. And so today I want to encourage you, whatever you're feeling, whatever you're going through, whatever difficulty you may be facing, do what this widow did. She went to the man of God. She went to God's representative on earth. She went to God, basically, what she would have considered to be her direct channel to God. And she went to him and she said, "Listen, this is, the worst things happened." And then he says, "Give it to me." And the prophet takes that son of hers, and he takes him and he bears him upstairs. He takes him upstairs, and in that place, the upper room, the miracle happens. And the worst thing that could happen to her became her testimony. Can you imagine that widow when he came back down and the son was alive? Can you imagine? She must have told everyone, my son was dead. There was no life in him. The worst thing possible happened. And yet, God did a miracle. And she had a testimony to share. Man, I want to be that person that has a testimony because I've gone and I've said, okay, God, I don't want to try and fix things on my own. I don't want to do things on my own. I don't want to become bitter and angry and jaded. I want to put my trust in you. And so I want to encourage you this morning that you get alone with God and give him everything again. Just like we said yesterday, give him everything and let him bear it up and see what he does. God bless you guys. We'll see you tomorrow.